Welcome on in. It is the Midday Show. Hugh Douglas, Joe Giglio, Kyle Quinn behind the glass. You guys with us, 215-592-9494. On quite a morning here already in Philadelphia sports. Jason Kelce, a press conference coming up at 1 p.m. I think we all know what's coming here. Jason Kelce will carry that live at 1 p.m. It sounds like he is ready to tell us where this thing is headed. Good morning, Hugh. Also, we have the biggest contract ever given out, an extension by the Phillies. We'll get to that. Good morning, Hugh.
Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Philly. Hey, listen, as it starts to get warmer because the weather's starting to change, everybody needs to hear this and know this. Just because they make it in your size don't mean you should purchase it and wear it. Just remember that.
Okay. You know what? I like that one. That's a good one.
I'm just letting you know.
Little Daily Douglas to start us off. And today's going to be a different day in Philadelphia. One I think that's going to remember for a long time. Jason Kelce set to speak at 1 p.m. We'll carry it live. His tweet this morning, no keg videos this year. I have come to a decision and will announce it at a press conference this afternoon.
Do we definitely know what it is?
I have a pretty good feeling.
Yeah. What if he gets up there and be like, you know what? I'm not leaving.
I'm back. I think it's pretty clear, though. Jason Kelce's probably going to announce his retirement at 1 p.m. That is the assumption here for a lot of us, and I think it's the logical assumption that Kelce's going to be out. And Hugh, there's a lot of things that get stirred up when you
emotional.
Hear this.
It's emotional.
I mean, he's the most consistent and most consistently excellent player they've had for since 2000. I mean, really the entire decade plus. It's a decade and a half that he's been here now. And been a great, really, he started off as a good player, and I don't know, somewhere along the line, middle of his career, became a great player. 6 All-Pro teams, he's a future Hall of Famer. Hugh, the instant reaction is he is going to be, even though they have some guys that could play that position, it's going to be hard to replace him for everything he brings here.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about that emotional leadership. You're talking about the wealth of knowledge that he brings to that position, still playing at a high level. It feels like Jason's decided to leave while he was on top of the game. And, the thing that I admire about this more than anything is that it's not one of those situations. I think Brian had a chance to do it. Brian left at the top of his game. And so Jason's doing the same thing. Because when you look around the league at a lot of guys that have played this game, a lot of us have got kicked out. It's very, very few individuals that you see that get to leave the game when their phone is still ringing. I mean, I remember when I left, got kicked out, my phone was done ringing, couldn't call anybody, and they picked up the phone. I mean, that's just how it goes. But for him, the way that he's leaving the game, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a lot of hugs, it's going to be an emotional time for him, I'm happy for him. And I say that in all sincerity, because if you play this game, you don't get to leave on your own terms for the most part. So when you find somebody or know somebody that does, it just makes you feel good because they got the opportunity to do so.
Yeah, and he gave everything to the franchise. I mean, to play for as long as he did, from the 6th round of 2011 through the 2023 season, to play at the level he did, he's one of the greatest players in franchise history. I believe, considering where he was taken, he's the best draft pick in franchise history. I truly believe that. To get him in the 6th round and to be a future Hall of Famer, it's remarkable. Championship, the parade, the speech, all of it. But now, look, I said last week I think it's good for the Eagles if they know. So now they're going to know, right? Like at 1 o'clock today, there's no ambiguity. We know he's either in or he's out, and my guess is he's out. But, Hugh, it kind of brings the offseason into focus. 1 week from today is the start of the NFL offseason, legal tampering. And the Kelce decision here really hammers home, at least in my mind, that there's a lot of work to be done here, because you look at the team and you take away Kelce. Let's just go off the idea he is retiring today at 1 o'clock. You take away Jason Kelce, and the way I look at it, I'm like, they need at least a couple corners. They need at least a safety, if not 2. They now need an offensive lineman. They need multiple linebackers. They got to figure out the Hassan Reddick situation. They need another wide receiver.
A lot going on.
They need a back. It feels to me, as you kind of hammer home that Kelce's definitely moving on, or we believe he's moving on, it makes me feel like this is a multi-year fix they're going to have to go through. Like, this isn't going to just be one offseason, then how we could fix all of this. That he might need 2 offseasons to get this thing down, to get a whole new group of players in here, to get their feet wet, and then another one after that to kind of add on top of it. Hugh, when you think of this team and where they're at right now as a franchise, is this a one-off season fix, or is it bigger than that? Because then you throw in the idea of yesterday a report came out, Fletcher might be on the way to retiring too.
He gone.
No concrete on that, just a report. But I'm like, man, no Kelce, no Fletcher potentially. Guys they have to move off of that are older. Reddick wants to trade. This feels to me like more than a one-off season fix. What do you think?
I believe that it's not. I think it can be fixed in an offseason. Now, there's a lot that has to happen, and we're at a point now in the season where, there's still some questions that need to be answered. We're going to have to fill that guard spot because I'm assuming that Juergens is probably going to move to the center spot, if I'm not mistaken. But I feel like it's an easy fix. And the reason why I say that is this. You look at the division, the NFC conference, I should say, the conference, and you look at the teams that were in the playoffs. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they were in a division where, man, it's still like even though they won the division, they're probably not going to be favored in their division. Minnesota Vikings won 7 games. Chicago Bears weren't that great. Green Bay Packers made it to the playoffs and made a little bit of noise at 9 wins. Philadelphia Eagles, when you talk about the teams that were at the top of the list, they were right there in 4th place as far as wins were concerned. Now, I know that, a lot of people are looking at it and saying, well, Hugh, you're an idiot because this team fell apart at the end. I think that they can get it together. With all the warts that this team has and all the unanswered questions that I've been talking about for the last couple of weeks, I feel like this might be a good thing for this locker room. And I'll tell you why, Joe. Because, like, right now, only thing I have is speculation. I don't even have speculation. I got speculation. And it's been speculated that a lot of the young players felt some kind of way about the old guard. So now you have 2 prominent members of the old guard that are probably gone. And for whatever reason, that probably caused a little bit of tension in the locker room. I'm speculating now, so, follow me on this, people. And maybe that, in turn, you're addition by subtraction, in a sense.
Well, I understand the idea that maybe if the older guys are out, maybe the young guys can grow faster.
Yes.
Yeah, I think there's something to that.
Yeah, so I'm speculating on that point. And there are going to be moves that be made. You're going to make some offseason moves now. Like, I've been big on letting the young guys play. So I think that's still going to happen. But you're going to have to go out and get some free agents. And the way that it looks with Kelce being gone, you're not going to probably get the biggest name free agents, but you're going to go out there and get some real serviceable guys. Well, so I think you can make it. I think you can make it back.
Well, I hope you're right. None of us want this to take 2 years, but I also wonder now that Kelce is on the way out, if Fletcher's on the way out, I wonder if the Eagles use this offseason to reset this whole thing. They have all this extra cap space. They could use it to sign players. I know that's what most people want. They could also use it to get out of bad contracts. Because all these contracts that we don't love, they come with cap hits. Right, so if they have extra cap room, I wonder if Howie Roseman looks at this offseason and says, I get a chance to fully reset this. I can move off of Bradbury. I could trade this guy. I could trade that guy. I'll take my medicine this year, and I'll have $70 million in dead cap hits. But then by the time I get to next year, I've got this whole thing reset. 215-592-9494. The Jason Kelce press conference will air it live at 1 p.m. He's going to make his announcement. The assumption, the belief, and I think a pretty strong one, is that Jason Kelce is going to likely announce his retirement today at 1 o'clock. It's been an amazing career, but it just hammers home for me. They got a lot of work to do. And, Hugh, I don't think what you're saying is wrong, that, like, young guys playing, they could take the reins here. But, boy, they've got a lot of spots to fill in one offseason. They do. No question about that. The way I look at the team, they need 2 corners, at least 1 safety. You might say 2 safeties. I think the other day you said you want 3 safeties. Well, I wanted 3 for a little bit of competition. Yeah. Okay, So that's 2 corners. I'll go your plan. 3 safety, that's 5 players. At least an offensive lineman now that can start. That's 6. 1 linebacker or 2. How many we need? 2?
Man, I would say 3.
3. Okay, that's 9 players. Okay, we got to.
Who is the one linebacker from last year that you would start?
None.
So we need 3.
All right, so you need 3 linebackers. Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay, they need a 3rd receiver in here. They have a lot of work to do. They have a 1st-round pick, they have 2 second-round picks, and they have free agency. But that's a lot of work to do in one offseason.
See, the biggest holes to fill for me, I would say, would probably be the linebacker spots. Maybe corners, because I'm still riding with the young guys. Now, when we talk about allocating resources or allocating individuals, we're probably, I would say, if I'm spending the money, it's going to be on the defensive side of the ball. I'm going to probably go on the free agency and get a couple safeties and maybe a linebacker. Like a veteran linebacker.
Oh, no, that's more than a maybe. Where are they coming from?
I'm saying, because I don't know how comfortable I feel with so many positions, especially key component positions, that are young guys.
Well, that's why I think this is a multi-offseason thing, because no matter what our plan is, there's going to be a lot of young guys playing next year.
It's going to be a lot of young guys, but the one thing that I look at, Joe, and I feel real comfortable about is our offense.
You feel comfortable with this offense?
Well, I feel well.
Did you see at the end of the season?
Okay,
we're losing Kelce. He's our signal caller.
Okay, calm down.
All right,
just
I'm calm.
Down
Well,
just a little
we
bit.
got a lot going on today here.
But this is the point that I'm making. We have a seasoned quarterback. We have a couple seasoned receivers. We have a seasoned tight end. So at key positions, to me, I feel like we have enough that it could carry the day. That's why I feel the way that I feel. Now, we're going to have some new guys out there and everything like that, but I feel at those key positions, like when you look around the NFL, we're not trying to groom a quarterback. Like when you look at most of the teams that we play, like they're still not sold on whether or not they want to pay Dak Prescott in Dallas.
Oh, but
and when people talk about
seasoned.
Yeah, he is, but he also is a choky choke. Still, word is still out on Jordan Love. Detroit Lions, Jared Goff had a good season last year, but for whatever reason, he has the potential not to be great. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they only got sold on Baker Mayfield at the end of the season. So there's going to be some opportunity there. And like I said, when you look at that division in the South, it's still up in the air who's going to win.
Sure.
That. San Fran is going to be there. We know that they're going to be the staple. Dallas Cowboys are going to be a problem. Detroit Lions. Outside of that, Green Bay Packers might take a step back.
Back.
They might not. I'm really speculating.
Is that your Dolphins take of the year?
I like it.
I was not wrong.
Kind of.
I
yes,
was
you
wrong.
were. You said they were going to.
But they were one and done. They were one and done in the
Move the
playoffs.
goalposts. Move the
No,
goalposts.
but I did. But they were front runners.
Yeah, you're
and they
right
were
about that.
fugazi.
Here's the way I view this: the Eagles have a lot of work to
Hit
do.
them on the whole playoff thing, but still.
A lot of work to do, and right now I think they're no better than the sixth best team in the conference. In some order: 49ers, Packers, Lions, Rams, Cowboys. They got a lot of work to do, and now they're losing Jason Kelce. Look, it's all about expectations. Everything in life is about expectations. How you react versus the expectations. I think this is a multi-year fix. Howie's got to undertake here. You think not? Even with Kelce likely out, it's a one-off season thing.